The people you hate the most, the things that triggers you the most, are the things that can help you grow and transform and create the life that you want the most. When you understand that life is simply a mirror, and those people that you hate, dislike, those things that triggers the shit out of you and so on, are only reflection of things that are unhealed in you, what is called the shadow. And when you can start to integrate that shadow, when you can start to bring that shadow back into your true self, you start to realize that you can fast track your growth, you can fast track your personal transformation, the result, what you're creating, what you're attracting. You can finally break the pattern of attracting and creating the same old thing over and over and over again, because you're simply starting to understand that everything is happening inside of you, right? That person that pisses you off so much because they're selfish or arrogant, right? Or that person you hate so much because they're lazy or incapable or useless. It's not about them. And it's so easy to make it about them and the thing and the world and the business and so on. But the thing that triggers you the most can teach you the most about yourself. This is what Carl Jung used to say. And so when you find the courage, when you find the awareness to look inside of you and be like, why am I so deeply triggered over and over and over by those people? What are the part of me, the fragments of me that are frozen, that are subconsciously buried, but that are running the show behind the scene, creating patterns of overthinking and seeking external validation and not being good enough and attracting certain people and just keeping me in a place where I don't want to be anymore. But when you start to pay attention to that and integrate that part of you, it will set you free. And then what you start to do and create and be in your life start to change as well. I give you an example. When I was young, I used to be very blunt. I used to be very self-expressed, like boom, boom, boom. Until my parents told me, hey, you can't do that shit, that's not good. So I learned that radical self-expression was not allowed. It was bad, it was wrong. So I took that part of me and threw it deep down in my subconscious mind. I repressed that part of my self-expression, and instead I learned to be agreeable, to be like a diplomat, to be like very nice. Yeah, and this is the mask, the way I adapted, because it was safe, it was life, and it was approved of. And we all grew up in the same way. Yeah? There's things that from family and dynamic and culture and experiences and things that happen in your life that we learn this is not acceptable, this is acceptable, and we adapt to our environment. And when we create that identity, we create that persona, we create that way where we feel worthy, we feel good about ourselves, and we can create those relationships and go in a way that is safe. Does it make sense? But you see, I used to be deeply triggered by people who are deeply, honestly, radically like arrogant or self-expressed. I used to hate those people. Does it make sense? Because I thought it was arrogance. It was hurting others, all that kind of stuff. Until I started to look back into me. What is the part of me that is arrogant, that I think is bad and wrong, and that I've suppressed so much? And one of the biggest questions you can ask yourself from when you have somebody who's pissing you off or you hate and you strongly dislike and it's happening over and over again, the one thing you can ask yourself the first is, what is the thing, what is the one trait, the one characteristic in them that I hate the most? So when a client tells me, oh man, I hate people who are selfish, or I hate people who are useless, does that make sense? It's like, okay, then ask yourself, how are you the opposite? Because if you hate something, it means that part of you is not accepted in you. And so you've learned often to be the opposite. And so when my client tells me I hate people who are useless, I'm pretty sure I know already that the way they adapted the mask, the way the identity they wear is to be that overachiever, super reliable, who always gets shit done. Because they learned when they were young that good grade and being okay and doing things and being super active was the way to go. But being lazy, sleeping, doing nothing, not okay. Does it make sense? So they get super frustrated when somebody is lazy, somebody is useless. Why? Because it's simply mirrored back to how they feel about that part of themselves. You only attract people in your life who mirror back to you parts of you that are unhealed. And this is why every single relationship that you attract in your life can help you grow the most if you learn to pay attention. So when another client tells me I'm so freaking pissed off because they're freaking selfish, when I ask them, how am I the opposite? Right? First question is, What is the one thing, the one trait, the one characteristic in them that pisses me off the most? And then ask yourself, how am I the opposite? Well, I'm more selfless, I put other people first, right? And this is often the nice guy stuff. It's like I put other people's needs first, I go above and beyond to be liked. I don't like when people think I'm selfish and so on. So you see how we repress part of us and then we adapt and we show up in the opposite way. But now you can take a step back, because how do you integrate that in your life? The first thing you have to understand is that nothing is good, bad, right or wrong. Everything has a polarity. Just like being selfless has a polarity. You can be selfless is good because you're kind, you're attentive, you're helping others. But the negative traits is that, well, you forget yourself, you don't have boundaries, you are a doormat, and you are a people pleaser. Does that make sense? But if you look at selfish, you also have pros and cons. So you have to first realize, okay, that part of me that I've learned is not okay. You learn through that awareness, through that exercise, to just notice that part of me and how I feel about it. But then you gotta start noticing that there's also positive traits in that person's arrogance, in that person's selfishness, in that person's laziness. Yeah? What is good about being selfish? Well, that person puts their needs first. That person has boundaries. That person doesn't care about people's opinion. Maybe I could use some of that shit in my life. Does it make sense? Because noticing that that part of you is not just bad, not just wrong, but there's also qualities that can be useful in your life to bring balance, to bring help, to make you more successful, to help you create the life that you want. Because if you're struggling with people-pleasing tendency, seeking external validation and so on, you could definitely bring that arrogance. You can definitely bring some of that selfishness. If you're that overactive overachiever, you could definitely bring some of that laziness, some of that self-care, some of that low time, to bring balance into your life, but also to realize that my self-worth is not tied up to just getting shit done. Does that make sense? So nothing is good, bad, right, or wrong. So how do you deal with situations as something triggers you and so on? Just to give you a really practical thing here, because this is what I do with my clients, right? Everything is about self-awareness. And I always teach them, I always make them look at the freaking mirror, and they hate the fucking mirror, but the mirror never lies. The things you attract, the patterns that show up in your life can teach you the most about you. And when you do that, it is a massive catalyst for transformation. So the first thing, look at the people you hate the most, make a list of the 5 people you hate the most the first, and ask yourself, for every single person, what is the one thing that pissed me off the most in that person? Arrogant, selfish, late, this, that. Just write down for every single person that one trait. And after that, ask yourself, how am I the opposite? For every single quality, how am I the opposite? How am I showing up the opposite way in my life? And then it's a matter of like feeling it. This is not about fixing yourself or changing yourself and so on. This is about just making peace with yourself, going emotionally in that part of you, feeling that part of you, that kids, often it's a kid, right? That inner child, so to speak, that learning was bad or wrong, and to just feel that, but also to realize that it's okay for me to own that part of me. This is what I did, for the self-expression and so on. I started to realize that, okay, when I was young, this is what was happening. I was self-expressed and this and that. And as you go back and you meet that inner child, you can ask yourself, when did I decide that arrogance or that selfishness or that self-expression is bad or wrong? And you can just sit with that, whatever comes up, whether it's a memory, whether it's a feeling and so on. Just get to know that part of you. Then you can ask yourself, what did I gain by hiding that part of me? And again, you can sit with that, sit with the feeling, sit with the awareness. And as you do that, you're starting to integrate that part of you. Because the more you resist that part of you, the more you resist the feeling, the more you resist those emotions, the more you think it's bad and wrong and so on, the more you try to change it, the more it's going to persist. So the way to actually integrate it is just to be present with that part of you, to notice it, to notice that kid in you, to notice that emotion, to notice how it was just trying to feel safe and how it was trying to, how you created that part of you. Does that make sense? But then integration doesn't simply happen in your mind or in your emotion. You also have to show up. So if you're triggered by arrogance, can you express yourself a little bit more, not arrogantly, but can you express yourself a bit more bluntly, a little bit more accurately, without being humble, without dissolving, without censoring yourself? Can you purposefully put yourself and teach yourself that it's safe for me to express myself, my win, who I am, with that little bit of sparkle of arrogance? If you're triggered by laziness or people who are useless, can you cancel one non-essential meeting? Can you then just sit 20 minutes and do nothing and be bored and be lazy? And just notice how you feel and allow yourself to feel any contraction, allow yourself to feel any fear. Just teach yourself that it's okay for me to do nothing. If you're triggered by selfishness, can you learn to say no when you really want to say no instead of saying yes, instead of being accommodating and agreeable? Can you learn to say no? And feel the resistance, feel the barrier, feel like, oh my God, I want to say yes, but and just say no. And notice that it's okay, because then you're integrating that, you're allowing yourself to express a part of you and make that part of you feel like it's okay, it's not bad, it's not wrong, it's just something I can use when it fits and when it helps me. And that makes you become a much more integrated version of you, because you can see the benefits as you start to bring this quality back in your life. You become more whole, you become more complete, you become more authentic, instead of always wearing that mask just because this is good and right and acceptable and all the other things is not. And that is the freedom, and that is radically going to change your life. And if you need help on your journey, if you are struggling, and if you're tired of that ceiling and the stagnation and all that people approval and all these type of things, and you want to break free, you can book a one-on-one session with me. The link is down in the description, and together we can see if we are a good fit and how I can help you fast track and transform your reality. The link is down in the description. I will see you then. Be well and hit the subscribe button.